Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, Scott Carson, jacked up to be with you today. Today's episode, I want to talk about a special report that Point to Home just came out with about a week ago, where they shared the cities that had the most amount of growth year over year. So we titled this the episode, The Top 10 Cities with the Most Growth in 2024, in the last 12 months, kind of, okay? I think you're going to be surprised by some of these cities. I know I definitely was, but these are cities that if it's had good growth year over year, these are in the increase in the percentage of homes, like the price for a home going up. If you're selling in these areas, this might be something to think about. If you're buying, it's going to get a little costly too. So, also as a note investor, I look at this information as possibilities where if I can buy it at a great price at a discount because I'm buying the debt, I've got a nice upside if I have to sell it to foreclosure auction and get paid full. So something to keep in mind as we go through this. So split this with a couple of things. Number 10, actually, before I do that, if you look at what came out by Redfin in February 2024, home prices increased by 6.4% year over year. So on average across the country, we saw a 6.4% appreciation. Sometimes that's higher in some places and less in others, okay? The national average for a house right now is $411,887, just under 412 grand. That's the national average. Obviously, it's higher in some, less in those. For some, that's a doghouse in LA. Others, that's a nice, really nice house in parts of Louisiana too. So just comparative on what your market. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't get all pissy at me. But yes, it's expensive. But guess what? Real estate is only going to get more expensive. You can afford to buy a house, even with rates being at 7.3, 7.5. Get in because it's going to appreciate over time. I encourage you to go back and watch the full episode that we did on the top 20 cities on Note Night in America about the fastest growing cities in the country. Sorry, the cities that had the biggest appreciation where property doubled the fastest, anywhere from like 7 years all the way up to like 4.9, which was a surprise for number one. So check it out. But anyway, these are the 10 cities that had the biggest growth as far as pricing in their housing markets. Number 10, Lexington, Kentucky. The Bluegrass Nation came in at 15.5%. That was kind of surprised because Kentucky's been a little bit slower. I don't buy a lot in Lexington. I mean, it's not saying that you can't find deals there. It's better to actually own the real estate there than it is to own the notes. So they've got some difficult issues when it comes to buying distressed debt in Kentucky. We do see some stuff, but it's had some growth, 15.5%. Number 9, Meridian, Idaho came in at 15.6% growth in the last year. Number 8, not a big surprise there because we've seen the city do a lot of good growth over the last couple of years. It also ranked high in the top 20 for doubling, but it's grown at 15.9% in the last year. Number 7, Miami Beach, Florida. Not Miami, but Miami Beach, Florida saw an increase by 16.7%. Number 6, our big neighbor to the north of here is Dallas, Texas, going through the big D, and don't mean Dallas. No, you mean debt, because it's gotten more expensive by 16.9% more to buy a house in Dallas, Texas. Number 5 was very surprising, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I didn't even think about that. 18.6% growth. Number 4 is Richmond, Virginia, 19% growth. It's kind of surprising because some of the other cities in Virginia have very slow appreciation. DC is one of the slower ones. There's a few others there that's slow. It's neighbor to the south, or is it north? Virginia is to the north of Maryland. Maryland, Baltimore area actually was in the top 3. It's one of the 3 fastest appreciating cities that's going out there. Number 3, President Trump's home of Boca Raton, Florida, saw a 22.5% increase in price. Number 2, Birmingham, Alabama, 24.4%. That's crazy. I like Alabama. I do not like the 1-year redemption period for notes, but if you see contract for deeds, that's a eviction process versus a foreclosure. So something to keep them out there with values going up in Birmingham. It's a pretty good market. Number 1, Cleveland, Ohio, surprised me. 25.5% growth. It actually also ranked in the top 20 for fastest, doubling in values out of the top 100 that they ranked. But Cleveland, Ohio, number 1 at 25.5% growth. more expensive on a house there for you. So that's something to keep in mind. Lots of great stuff there. Let me go through here. These are the cities that had the slowest on average. Anchorage, Alaska, it didn't double in 24 years. Okay. Actually, it did 21.1 years for it to double. Arlington, Virginia surprised me. Slow, almost 20 years. Chesapeake, Virginia, slow to double. Urban, Honolulu, Hawaii, almost 20 years for it to double. Virginia Beach, VA, Washington, D.C., very slow, almost 20 years. This surprised. Corpus Christi, Texas, where I grew up, very slow to double. This is the big U.S. markets where median home prices doubled the slowest. 19.1 years in Corpus Christi. Next on the list, Brooklyn, New York. That didn't surprise me. El Paso, Texas, slow as well. Philadelphia, PA, slow for it to double. Manhattan, New York, slow. That doesn't surprise me. But then Lubbock, Texas also surprised me. Nothing out there but cow patties. No, but you got Texas Tech University in Lubbock, which has done a lot of growth as well. So that surprised me seeing Corpus Christi and Texas on that list. But Anchorage, Alaska, that doesn't surprise me. And this is looking at where they basically looked at from January 2000 to February 2024 when they pulled their numbers. So something to keep in mind there. We all know home prices can increase, but also single-family home prices did double faster in some cities than the median home price. Philadelphia, 7.8. Brooklyn, 7.7. Houston, there we go. Just under 5 years at 4.7 years. Pittsburgh, PA, came in at 3.3. San Antonio, Texas, at a hotter market for single-family homes than the median home price, 2.1 years. Newark, New Jersey, 1.9. Boston, 1.3. Your cousin from Boston, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at 1.2 years. LA, 1.1. It kind of surprised me. Then New Orleans, Louisiana, at 1 point. That didn't surprise me so much when you think about all the damage that New Orleans has been through. So there's high demand, low inventory in a lot of cases. So that number holds water. If you'd like to check out the full article, you can go to snip.ly / hot housing. I'll put the link in the description for you guys to take a look at it. But I'd also check out the longer episode where we broke down the top 20 cities that have doubled the fastest in value in the last 7.1 years. So go out, take some action, everybody, and we'll see you at the top. Bye.